Welcome back to another game. I think this is game 100 now. We'll have to see. What do we get? D4. We kind of want to have the white pieces to play Van G, but we'll go with this. Yeah, it'll be interesting to look back over the last 100 games of how it's all gone. I think I might do some look at the analytics of it. But we're what, 2160, which is pretty good. So they just play principled, good centre, knights before bishops. So let's see what they go for. Bishop here. Bishop here or here. Okay. Is maybe a move. Maybe this is a move. Could play e5. Rook e1, e5. How do we progress here? Go for like a double fianchetto. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't feel it's very optimal. It's not great that I'm out of theory after 5 moves. So yeah, 100 games. 2160 feels about right. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to look at the rating graph of it as well. That it seemed to be a bit of a slow climb up to 2000. Pretty quick up to 2100, and then we've ping-ponged up to about 2180 maybe, which is maybe our level on a good day. Had a coffee this morning, so that's got to give me a couple of hundred rating points extra. Maybe just knight out, what's the move? So typically if you're going to put all your pawns on dark squares, then your light square bishop's going to be quite good, but I'm looking to trade it off, so I think if I trade it off I want to try and push onto light squares and keep my dark square bishop. So maybe, I don't know. Or we keep both and we just go for double fianchetto. Maybe ideally I'd like to try and play some of this, like e5, f5, but I need to move this knight out of the way. So maybe the knight would live here. Oh wow, they're going for long castles. On this, they're playing this. You can play a5. Well, they're just kind of lining up this battery. So there we'll see this. Which I like. I think my bishop here is going to be better than their bishop there. I think. Although maybe not. Maybe one if this starts coming. So maybe we just play flexibly. We play knight here. We could strike to c5. Let's play c5. And if it opens up, because they're not castled, that could be better for us. Like I say, I'm still not sure where I want my bishop to live. Maybe this is interesting. Okay, right, so they concede something by playing d5, opens up this. They're probably not going to castle long now. Well, maybe they will, but this becomes quite strong. This bishop is useless, so I think trading it off now makes the most sense. This bishop's got no hope of the game. This e5 square would be nice for this knight to live on. Ideally if it could be supported by a second knight, but so maybe it's my f knight drops down and up, and then this one comes to d7. So maybe we do this way, such that if it takes, we've got takes. Because if I go straight here, it's only the pawn that's defending it, so I'd have to take with the d pawn, which isn't disastrous, but not really what I want to do. I want to kind of liberate this g7 bishop on this diagonal. If we end up with some trades here, maybe in the future we can launch our A and B pawns and kind of create some queenside counterplay, I think is the plan from this kind of setup. I imagine white will try and create a battery, launching some things over here, and we've got to get some quick counterplay with our A and B pawn breaking down the 7. So opponent, RoadChewGrandMaster, blue heart. Sri Lanka, yeah. So they're 2400 bullet, about 2000 blitz, 2130 rapid, 2400 classical. They're a good player. Yep, okay, so g4. Okay, so they're coming at me and they're coming at me hot. b5, if takes, kind of like that. b5, b4. I don't think there's an immediate threat like this I can play here. Or even go for this pawn. Threatening b4, kick the knight, win this nice central juicy pawn. Also uncovers the bishop as well, so there might be some potential, yeah, like if they do a really lax move of doing nothing to prevent b4, knight moves, probably back, pick up the pawn, tempo on the queen, and uncover this bishop. I think it's quite likely that they'll reinforce this, expecting maybe either e5. It's a pawn sacrifice, the only other move is this. Okay, or they go that way. Can I go here? Can I play b4? Knight for a knight. Opens up the G file, doesn't it? Maybe just play here. The knight's a bit offside, but it stops advances of the H pawn. Can always retreat back, because otherwise this is coming and that's not pleasant. Is there this? Takes. 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 You've got to do something about it. Maybe you go here, here. This is safer. I don't think this works, does it? Ideally, I'll try and like get the bishop here, but it's too much. It needs to be out of the way. I'm sure Engine will probably say b4 is best. b4. If they move the knight, I pick up the pawn. If they take the knight, we take the knight. If they take with the queen, I'd like that because I take here and I get a tempo on the queen. I weaken my g file, but I think I'm okay. Takes with the b pawn I think is best. We take here. If bishop here, we can play this. I like this. I didn't look at what happened if they just moved the knight, did I? Maybe that was something I should have done. Oh yeah, if they move the knight, I pick up on e4. So it'll be a bit scary because at the end of this they'll have access to. I imagine they're taking, right, and that opens up. So they can't take the bishop because we take the queen with check. So something's taking c3. I think b takes c3 is best. But I also think I have a response to that. So I think on either case I'm taking here with some pressure. Like I say, long term, if I can get a bishop on here supported, that wins the queen. So it'll be some combination with bishop here with queen a5, and it's really difficult for them to defend that because they don't have access to defend it. So I think if b takes, we end up winning this c3 pawn. So like that takes, and I think if you want to try and hold on to it, you'll have to play like a 2-move sequence, like rook here, rook here. Did not see that. Oh, so I can take rook over there. Takes there. Queen takes there. Yeah. Do we miscalculate this? You just looked at something here taking on c3. Takes there. So I think we have to take here. Then this. I think we might be okay by accident because everything comes with check. So now I'm thinking check. This seems most logical, but then we can take here, and there's not time to take the bishop because we take it with check. But maybe it's queen here, bishop here, takes here, takes here, takes here, takes here, takes here. Messy, hey? So we're currently up a pawn. So we can pick up 2 pawns for it, which isn't disastrous. This is the other route. Check there. Up 2 pawns. Up 1 pawn. Up a pawn. Maybe even check. Yeah. I think maybe we've thrown that check. So check first, bishop there, takes there. This looked strong, but we can check, and you've got to block. If you block with your bishop, I take it with check. So I think queen back. Then we're up a pawn and a rook, down the bishop. Yep. Check. There. Takes. Check is the important move. Queen A1 check is really critical because it dislodges the coordination that it needs. Check. Queen back. Pick up the rook. We're up a rook and a pawn at that stage. Lose the bishop. Pick up a pawn to up a rook and 2 pawns for a bishop. My king and queen are on the same diagonal with the bishop lurking, but he doesn't have bishop c3. Okay, so that line is good for us. Bishop back there. Castles, we pick up the pawn. Yeah, this is just... Yes! I think he had to play for this try, though. Let's go. I think we're winning, but he had to at least test me that I knew it. Okay, it is -2. So, yeah, let's carry on from here. So the line that I was thinking was bishop here, queen takes. Now rook takes I thought was the best try, and I think the only move for me is queen a1. Oh, I can take the rook, okay. But I take the rook, he takes my bishop. Because now I can have queen a8. Yeah, I can play one of these moves a bit later on. Yeah, got it. And then take back. And if they castle, I pick up the pawn, and here we're just up, what, 3 pawns? Awesome, let's go. Good game for game 100. Glad that's a win. Right, let's just have a look at the opening, because I don't think I played it fantastically. Like, this is just, you can just play this against everything. So here it likes d5. And d5, e5. This is something I might need to study a bit. Just like some opening prep that I just don't know. Okay, maybe we'll crack that out in a different one. So let's try and learn it now. So d5 pushes, knight there. Most common is bishop d3. And then you just trade and undermine with c5. Okay. And I thought what the most scary was knight takes, pawn takes, knight g5 is played the most, then you have to play c5. And then c3 is played. Well, we've only got a handful of games here. If bishop b5 check, then you can block with the knight. Okay. Can you? Oh, that's a big push. Oh. Okay, right, now's not the time to look at all this. We didn't get that in the game, I played this. Okay, really just likes playing d5. c6 is played most often in this position. b6 I presume is not played, no. This is nearly +1, so we trade off here. I thought this is okay. And then they kind of go for me. b5 best move, nice. b4 best move, glad we spent some time looking at that. And then this seemed semi-forced, so takes. And then this was the other line. Let's start. If b takes, I was going to take here, and I think it was quite difficult for them to do anything with this. So even if like rook bishop came here, I was going to play queen a5. Yeah. So I saw this from a distance, and there's you can't take here because of this. Oh, this is interesting. Didn't see e5. Yeah, okay, all kinds of crazies go on there. So let's just go back and says that queen takes is the best line. I was going to take with the bishop. If you want to hang on to the pawn, I thought queen a3 made the most sense. And then, yeah, so on rook b1, then this was coming in. So maybe, okay, so engine says this to target the pawn. Wow, it says castle into this. And this says this is -1, but in the game they slid over, which wasn't expecting, and then we were kind of lucky with the position, was what it was. We didn't even get, how far did we get? Where did they resign? Around here, wasn't it? Anyway, great game. Thanks for watching, game 100.